We're recording and streaming. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Lectora Live, your inside track into Lectora. I'm joined by Bob Zybach, who is a Lectora creator. You're one of the developers, right?
One of the developers, been doing it for going on 15 years now.
15? Oh, you've been there a long time. You've been there 5 longer than I've used the product.
Okay, yes.
So I've been on it for 10 years. 2006, I think we got on it. Might have been 5, but I think it was version 6, and I think it was 2006. And well, you guys have been busy. You've been adding a ton of new functionality and features and just all sorts of good stuff. Which team do you work with?
I'm on the Lectora desktop team.
Okay, that's the one we use mostly.
Okay.
Well, we have one of the online, and I like it. I like it a lot, but I want some more functionality. I want to be able to save to our local network.
Oh, okay.
Rather than to the cloud, though it works really. Actually, surprisingly enough, when I first looked at it, I went, "Is this going to be fast?" It's pretty fast. It's actually pretty fast. I was thinking online it might not be that fast. It cranks. I wouldn't say it's as fast as the desktop version, but not far from it.
It's not far from it.
It's
getting better every day.
Yeah, you guys have done a real good job on that. What specifically? What area do you work on as far as the desktop part? Any specific area? You just kind of work on the whole product?
Sort of bounce around. Since I have been there so long, I've been involved in probably almost every area of Lectora. Currently, I'm working on the LMS. LMS LRS areas. Yes. So working with the Zappy, CMI5 that's coming along, so that we're trying to make sure that we're ready for that when that comes out in the next month or so.
Is it that close? And
it is very close. It follows our Zappy work that we're doing. It's just a little more specifications.
Right. Right.
So we're very close on it.
A pretty good implementation of Zappy. It actually works pretty well. At least what we've seen so far, everything was pretty good. I like CourseMill a lot. We don't have it. Well, we have actually some accounts in-house, but we've worked on it on a couple of customer sites throughout the years, and it's easy. And yet you're not really compromising power either. That's what I like about it, that you've got the ability to do both. And I mean, I've worked on all the quote-unquote big guys.
Okay. And they're tough. They're tough to work with. Yes,
they can be. You know what it is? You're paying a lot, but you're not getting a lot often. And so I've been pretty critical of the LMS world for a long time because a lot of the big vendors just aren't putting out what would be considered a great solution. It's an expensive solution.
Yes,
but
very
more
expensive.
Doesn't always mean better.
Nope.
No, they say you get what you pay for, but not always.
Okay. In CourseMill, it's interesting how that one started off for our company. Is when we started doing our initial SCORM work, there was no LMSs for us to test against.
Oh, funny.
So we actually had to write our own LMS, and that's how CourseMill was born, so that we had something to test with.
That's good. And then it became a product.
And it became a product. Yes, it did.
That's funny. Well, you guys have done a lot of development throughout the years. We've seen the product evolve. I remember the very first versions of Lectora. I looked at it, and at the time, it was interesting, but it didn't have enough power. I looked again at it several versions later, and I went, what happened? Did I miss all this? And then we went with it, and we've been using it fairly as much often as we can. We use a couple of the other products, but when we have a chance, we always try to use Lectora. I love the way you can do actions without having to be a programmer. Now, I'm a programmer at heart. I've been an IT guy forever, but most of our users aren't.
No, they're not. But Lectora sort of lets you take that steps into the programming world. We still let you do the logic flow in there and inheritance. So you are, whether they like it or not, the users of Lectora are programmers.
And they're learning how to do it. And they make things like inheritance real easy. Very easy to do. We found that the hardest concept to teach people because they think it's something totally different. No, you're not doing C++. No, you don't have to. It's a lot easier. Just think of your chapters and they inherit things from a global area. And it just brings it in, or you can have different things being inherited. They kind of look at you like, and then they get into it and go, this is pretty cool.
Okay.
You can do a lot of pretty powerful stuff with that. Not to mention, one thing I love about Lectora is you can actually get into pretty complex routines without really having to be a programmer. Logic helps. If you can think logically, that's going to take you 90% of the way there with Lectora. But even the handling of variables, and there's things a lot of people don't know that aren't really that well documented. All the functions and things that are built into it like searches and string parsing, and which isn't really obvious.
No,
but it's there.
No, it's there, and we've tried to build it in there just naturally so that you don't have to know or go looking for it. It just ends up being there. Inheritance variables, they're there just naturally for you. Whether you want to use them or not, they're being used under the covers.
Yeah, and they're easy to use. I always tell people, when you do LMS queries or whatever you're doing, or if you're doing a course, personalize it. Use one of the CMI variables and put it out there, so now you have the person's name. You know what their first and last name is, rather than, hello, student. It's like, I feel so personal with this. It loves me. But you can actually make it very personal. You can add all sorts of stuff to that with the variables and really give it an experience that's not just, HAL 2000 talking to you. It's, or 9000. You can actually feel like you're interacting with it a little bit more. And people like that. They like that a lot. You notice it quieted down in here all of a sudden?
Yep, we have our breakout sessions are going on.
Is that what's going on right now? That's pretty good. I heard you guys have almost the whole team at one point or other coming out here.
Yep, we're sort of tag teaming it here. So we got half of our staff still in the office there handling the day-to-day things and keeping our work going. So half of us come out here and
That's cool.
Visit with the customers. And
you're in Boca Raton?
Our office, yes, it has been in Boca Raton for about 12 years, and we recently moved to Deerfield Beach.
Deerfield Beach, is that far?
So, no, it's the next city over from Boca.
Oh, okay, so that's pretty close.
Just south of Boca, so.
How far is Boca from Fort Lauderdale?
Fort Lauderdale? It's probably about a half hour away.
Well, that's not bad. So. That's not bad. Or I heard if you take the 95, it could be 3 weeks.
It could be 3 weeks, yes, it could.
The 95 is bad everywhere. Yeah, it's funny, I've been to Boston a lot, I've been to Connecticut, and you have to take the 95 there. And we got here, we landed in Miami, and to get here took about 35 minutes.
Okay.
And everybody went, "Oh, you are so lucky." They said that's not normal.
That's
they said
not normal.
It's usually like an hour drive, maybe 2. I went, 2? It's not that far.
No, it's not.
20-something miles, maybe. It wasn't that far at all.
Okay. Wow. You got to be here during the in-season when all the snowbirds are here.
Oh, then it's bad, right?
Then it's even worse. Yes.
Then it's bad. Yeah, that's true. But it's pretty out here. It's nice, and I always forget. Coming from Southern California now, I grew up in New York, but coming now here, I go, oh, I can feel the mugginess. I forgot all about that.
Yes, it's like a wall of humidity that you walk into.
We are so dry. We could just, can some of that and take it back home. We're in a drought, so we have no water. It's bad. Except, well, I won't even get into what our crazy government does with that. But, oh, she's talking to someone else. But anyway, this is good. Well, I'm glad you guys could make it out, and you get to see a lot of the user community and stuff. There's over 200 people here today, so that's a pretty good showing.
Yes, that is.
There were some other. It's always tough trying to get everybody to show up at a show, because right after this show, you've got ICE, the ASTD ICE, which is like 8,000 people show up at that one. They're not e-learning people; they're more trainers. But that probably took some of the people from this show, because budget. They go, you can go to one show, and they go to the big one. And then there was eLearning Guild, I think, had a show 2 weeks after this one. So, which used to be MLearnCon, now it's, I think, a Focus on Learning. Okay. So that's always a bummer, because it would have been more fun to have about 300 to 500. I think it was 500 a couple of years back. That was That was really good.
Yeah, I think we held back a little on the advertising this year, but our users, even without that advertising, they come anyways, because they like that interaction where they can actually talk to the developers and get that one-on-one and asking the experts.
And I find most people who do Lectora are usually pretty sharp. I mean, they know what they're doing, and they have a lot of fun with the tool and all the things. What are some of the things that you think are, I'd call it best features of Lectora, things that people really enjoy working with?
The best features? That's a good question.
There's a lot of features.
Yes, there are a lot of features, and I think the features that are most important to Lectora, I don't know if they're the best to work with, but they're actually the ease in which we work with the LMSs. I think we were we've been the leaders. I like to consider us the leaders for many years in working with the SCORM environment. As far as following the specifications and working with them and getting them the right data at the right time.
Well, there's another thing that you guys do, which a lot of the e-learning tools don't do, at least not easily, and some don't do it at all. If for any odd reason some LMSs just don't cooperate well, you can write the statement right into it to get to the LMS. If you need to do any updates,
Okay.
like we've had LMSs that were really slow. 600,000 users. That's a lot of people on an LMS.
Okay. Yes. Yes, it is.
So what we had to do is do a little bit of coding to send out the writes and then pause, go to a different screen afterwards.
Okay.
So what we're doing is we're holding the user up a little bit because we needed 5 to 10 seconds to update the LMS.
Okay, because it's a very synchronous process there, giving the LMS data and waiting for
and you had to wait for that
response to come back.
To get lost, get found, and eventually it did update, and we could tell when it updates. We're checking the variables and saying, did it complete? Yes, okay, we're there. And that you can't do easily on any other LMS. You can do a call, make it wait, do a loop a little bit, come back, and now you know what you've done. Whereas other people are just losing data.
Okay.
And plus, it's not that chatty. I remember working on tools like Captivate. We're extremely chatty. So if you had 600,000 users with that kind of chatty, you would have a 30-second minimum update time. I know people using Sapa that have like a 2-minute update time sometimes. That's slow. And that's a 110,000 person site. So, the more users you have, the problem with a lot of the LMSs is they're not tuned to be fast.
Okay.
They're not written by real database administrators who are really familiar with indexing and everything else. So as a result, this comes from me who used to teach indexing on LMS, on relational database management systems. 5 days of hashing algorithms. Those are fun courses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
After that, you're pretty much lobotomized for about a month, and then you come back and then you can do hashing algorithms. But people used to actually go 5 days of indexing.
Okay.
But that's what it takes to get those bigger systems to work correctly, to know what your before images are, your after images, your interim temp areas. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this stuff, as you guys know. And that's where it gets screwy sometimes. And when you have a lot of users and you're dealing with network lag.
Yep. Yes, you are.
I used to joke that whenever you're in customer support, anybody calls, just say latency. We go, latency? Everything's latency.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Took too long. That's it. You're done. What about bugs? Nope, just latency. There are no bugs, just latency. And it kind of fits. It really does fit with what a lot of people go through. Now, there's another thing, and here's a feature. Now, I'll give you guys a real compliment because you guys have been great. And I would say one of the best features of Lectora are you guys, the staff that builds it, because you guys build a damn good product. And I say damn with gusto because you do. We don't have a lot of bugs in it. I mean, very few. I mean, occasionally there'll be a bug. But that's usually on a brand new release, and there's so many millions of things to test. It happens. But we're talking consistent, solid performance throughout the last 10 years I've been on it. It's just been pretty impressive. So you guys have a really good development team and a really good testing team.
Okay.
So that's always been impressive to go through that. And as a user of a lot of different authoring tools, not all are that bug-free.
Okay.
Some are very buggy.
Boy.
Some won't admit to having bugs. They call them features, but there's bugs.
Okay.
You guys have been really good. You've been very bug-free. I'd say rarely, honestly, I very rarely drive have to do a workaround. I can't even think of when I do workarounds. And when we have encountered a real bug, we usually call, and I've seen turnaround times from day to a week. That's fast.
Okay.
So we're very impressed.
Yeah, we do try to handle those very quickly. So if we do, since there is so many infinite possibilities of browser and system and data, that yes, there is going to be the occasional bug.
Yeah, but we had one recently with you, and you helped. Actually, you helped on that one.
Okay.
We talked to you, and within a couple of days, it was very quick. I remember that it was 16.1.1, I think, came out like that.
Yes.
Fixed it.
Fixed it.
So you guys were right on that one. And you knew exactly what it was when we told you. You went, we know what it is. And it wasn't a bad bug. It was just one of those kind of weird visual bugs.
Yeah.
But it was easy. That's the kind of stuff that we love. That there's a bug. It gets through. I mean, we're developers. We know what that's like.
Yeah. But as long as you have the process in place to take care of that and quickly handle it.
Yeah. And you guys distributed that really fast. Okay. I was talking to a couple of the people here, and they said, there was a bug there were several bugs in 16.1. Boom, like that. So that's good. That's. I think I'm still waiting for bugs to be fixed by some other competitors that I know very well. It's been about 8 years now, still no fixes.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean,
wow.
literally.
Okay.
Lots of new features, but no fixes.
No fixes.
So you just kind of shake your head and go, whatever. So, no, you guys have good developers. Well, I know John came from the OS2 world.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of.
And I came from that same world
you from
also.
IBM
Yes,
too?
yes. I've known John for about 25 years now.
But you guys have real good developers on staff. When I first found out John was one of the developers on OS2, I went, "You were one of the developers? Really? Cool." I used to use OS2.
Okay.
It was cool. I still think to this day, today, 18 years later or whatever, 17 years, OS2 was, I think, early 90s, right?
Yes, yes, it was.
It still works better than Windows today.
Okay, OS2 was doing multitasking.
It was
years before Windows was doing
working
it.
multitasking.
Yes,
It actually worked, unlike some of the other people. Even Windows to this day multitasks, but it's not. I would say it multitasks in a funky way, because usually the minute you go to the background doesn't do much of anything. So it doesn't quite work well. It saves things, but OS2 is cool. I knew some developers that used it. They were for big companies, and they used OS2 for some of their aerospace stuff and everything else, and loved it. When OS2 went away, everybody went, "What? You've got to be kidding!" Well, IBM screwed up.
Okay, some of us developers, we left home to work on operating system software. So
did you?
That's what I did. Yes.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Now Leslie, who's over there, she was an IBM system programmer.
Oh wow. Okay.
So she worked on the mainframes. That was her job for 20-something years. Reservation systems and all of that kind of stuff. She got her training at Western Airlines, which then merged with Delta, and she loved it. I didn't like assembly. It's like changing register. No, please. I was more of a high-level guy. Are you a C++ programmer?
And yes, I am, but most of my background is low-level development. I did a lot of factory automation work for General Motors, working with drivers.
Did you work General Moters too?
Yes, I
so
did.
You guys all came from the same place.
Yes, yes.
Cool.
I think we started out with EDS
I worked at EDS before.
Okay.
We were contractors there. We did a lot of work for their field service management, and it was a great group. That was out of Plano when they were there. Not the GM, but this is a little bit after this, probably mid-'80s.
Okay.
No, actually early 90s, very early 90s. And it was a nice place. So you guys have similar backgrounds too. Did you guys all know each other?
And back at EDS, no, we didn't. But what happened was EDS was doing contracting work for IBM. So when we went down there to do the OS2 work, that's how we met. So we were all working for EDS, coming from different areas, and then working at IBM on OS2.
Yeah, and you know what? People don't realize this, but the longer teams work together, the tighter they are. And it's just, you guys kind of get on the same frequency when you're working, and everybody knows what needs to be done.
Yeah.
That's another benefit. And I didn't realize that too. I knew that. I found out that Darren Lucan also came from that group, and I was going, "You too?" So it seems like a lot of you came from the Boca offices of IBM, plus going backwards, EDS, GM.
Okay.
That's actually pretty cool.
And that's where we met, and that's why when you're building up your development force, you bring in your friends that you worked well with, and not just your friends, but people that you've worked well with, and because if you're bringing them in and they don't do the job, you got to do it for them. And so we work very well together. We've been together for 20, 25 years, watched our families growing up together, and helped out.
Really cool. And you know, you can't put enough price on that. That's one of those priceless things.
Yes, it is.
Because that's experience you can't measure. That's at least the way I see it. Now, I've run IT departments, and small to larger ones, and the longer you have some of the guys with you, it just becomes easy. It just becomes a lot easier because everybody knows their job. And at the office, I always have one saying: "Do your job. I don't care. Just do your job." And some of the young people kind of look at it, "What's my job?" We told one person recently, "Take ownership." How do I do that? Yeah, it's like
might be a problem there.
I gotta go back a long ways on this one.
Okay.
But that was an interesting concept, though, because to us it was like, take ownership of what you're doing. It's yours. Do it. Do
it to the best of your ability. And if you need help, don't be afraid.
Right.
You're among friends. Ask for help. We're there to help each other out.
Everybody's there to help. And the look was, ownership of what? I was like, oh no, we got to really backtrack on this one. Okay. Let's go back to childhood. Remember they made you clean up your room, that things you hated to do? That's taking ownership. It's your room, take ownership of it. Either that or they come in and they make your room miserable, make your life miserable. So that was interesting, but we've seen that a lot lately. It's like ownership. Why would I do that? So, well, this is good. This is good. Well, Bob, I'm glad you're here at the show. It's been a pleasure meeting you. You've been there forever. I just didn't know who you were. I've known John for years and Darren and some of the other guys. But now we're actually getting to meet a lot of the developers, and really impressed with what you guys do and your backgrounds. And so, yeah, if you're looking to buy Lectora and you're not sure, you get a development staff, a real development staff, and that's worth its weight in gold. Trust me.
Yep, we work hard and we take ownership.
You heard it, right? Bob. Real pleasure meeting you again.
Okay,
And
nice
hey, have
meeting you,
fun at
Rick.
the show and enjoy. Okay, I take that from you. Thanks a lot. Well, there you go. That was Bob Zybach from Trivantis, sharing a little bit of his development process. We'll be back a little bit later on with more interviews. Thanks a lot. We'll see you a little later.